started making some crazy noise, real loud squeaking noise. It went away, so we're gonna hope for the best, and hopefully I make the race. I'm excited to race. It's gonna be a really tough race. My goal is, I'd like to win. Probability of that is not very high. Maybe top 3, hopefully top 5. Definitely need to get in the top 6, 7 for points. I think. It's the problem with cyclocross. It's a fun sport. I love it. But you can get so hung up in all the minutia, like points for starting position and tire pressure, and sometimes it detracts from the experience. Hopefully when I'm racing today, I remember just to, I love this course. I love just going fast on this course, or trying to go fast on this course. But anyways, that's the goal. Do as best I can, hopefully be as high up as I can, and hopefully that translates into some decent points. Gotta stay focused on the moment, race my bike the best I can, pre-ride, decide where to go hard, where to recover, try to execute. Alright, post-race coming.
That's it, Bo. Push it.
Come
on, Bo.
He can't even keep his body straight. Come on, Mickey. Nice, Jason.
big coming together. Lars van der Haar looks like he might be hurt.
Oh dear, Lars
Looks like
van der Haar.
Is that a dislocated shoulder?
Did he just pop his shoulder back in?
I think he might have.
You dislocated your shoulder. I always wanted to try this.
Try this? What do you mean try? You never done this?
Are you okay?
Oh man,
Are you okay?
it's back in, I think.
Do you know now? Do you know how to put in a dislocated shoulder?
No.
Can you see it?
Oh, I can see it. It's definitely dislocated. You want to hop off?
Yeah, I'm hopping off. Can you pull my arm real quick?
Yeah.
Pull it as hard as you can.
Ready?
Yep.
You want me to jerk it?
Yep. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yep. Go ahead.
One more time. Here, give me your bike. Ready? Yep. No, it's not working. I thought something happened to you when I didn't see you coming around.
Yeah. How do I, where's a hospital or something? I need somebody to pop this back in.
It's straight down the road.
Oh, it just went back in. There. Oh my God. Look at that. It just went back in. Oh my God. First now I can't lift it. No. Thank you, Matt.
What happened?
I went down and my shoulder was like totally messed up, and now it's popped back in, but now I can't raise it, and my hand is numb.
Feel this. This is all just dead. Sorry, man.
It's bike racing.
Let me, well, I'm going to help you.
All right.
My guess is you're going to need help putting it in.
I think I am too. Can I change real quick though? I gotta get.
Yeah. No, take your time.
I'm sorry, man.
No,
Thanks
take your
a lot.
time, man. I've been through injury. It takes a village.
Alrighty. Thought I would do a little short video real quick, although it might not be that short. I spent most of the morning, Monday, September 9th, in the ER. Long story short, I have 7 broken ribs and a broken shoulder. I don't know exactly what that means. I have a doctor's appointment with the orthopedist on Wednesday, but basically Carter Park, one of my favorite courses of all time, mainly because you have to ride the course smart because there's speed limits. Yeah, I rode way too aggressive that first lap, and it ended up biting me. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I was trying to position myself to get into the lead, was pushing pretty aggressive to do that, going into a turn that had a bunch of gravel in it, and didn't win the battle for the corner, which, whatever, I didn't really expect to, but I was, in my mind, I was thinking, all right, I'm going to put in the effort, just get it set up, and then actually, once we get through this corner, really hit it hard then, and just didn't make it through the corner. I think I got into the rider in front of me's rear wheel a little bit. It's also possible I just didn't make that gravel-free line and just slipped in the gravel, but I had confidence going into the corner I was going to come out of the corner until about halfway through. And then I just went down. I have this mantra that I like for cycling, which is patience, wisdom, strength, and acceptance. You got to be patient, not overrace, not expend energy when you don't need it. Got to be wise when you're going to expend the energy. When you make the decision to expend the energy, strength, you got to go all in and apply the strength that you have. And then you have to assess and accept whatever the outcome is, and then plan going forward from that. And my patience and wisdom just was not there. I think I got overexcited. I had a better start than I actually thought I would. Yeah, my plan was with this course is I knew how I had to race it, and my plan was if I was already on the back foot in the first lap, I was just going to chase like I'm used to doing. And if I was top 3 going into that hill, I was going all in on that first lap and just pushing and not caring what the outcome was. I was observing behind me going in there, actually before we got into the woods, really, like what the gaps were already like, because I wanted to blow that. And then if I blew up and I was, the top 4 got separated, and then the worst I would have got was 4th. So that was my idea, at least. And when I went down, my shoulder was actually like poking forward. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it wasn't like an even, line. And at some point, my shoulder actually went back into place, but then I couldn't lift my arm, and my fingers are still numb, my pinky and my ring finger. So I called last night the orthopedist and left a message. They called me back this morning and they basically said you have to go to the ER to make sure that it's put back in. So I go to the ER and they're like, yeah, we'll do some quick x-rays. You'll be out of here. And I had an appointment at 11. This is like 8 o'clock. And I was like, should I change this? They're like, oh, we'll probably have you out here by 11. And after the first round of x-rays, they were like, yeah, you broke your shoulder and a bunch of ribs. We need to do an CAT scan. And they're like, yeah, you have 7 broken ribs. And the doctor and the DO student were even like, how did you do this again? Like, we don't normally see 7 front breaks. I'm pretty sure that 3 of the breaks that are on this side, on the opposite side that I fell on yesterday, are just a re-injury from when I crashed earlier this summer. I'm 90% positive I cracked ribs this summer. I'm in some pain. I would say that it's not like the crash this summer was way more painful. The ribs, though, definitely, I'm starting to feel those more. The arm is a big issue, though, and I'm really worried about this because as of right now, I have very limited mobility. Can't lift it. Oh, I can't show you because I can't do it, and I'm holding the phone with my good hand. I just have limited mobility, and like I said, there's numbness and tinglingness in my ring finger and my pinky, which has made typing today for work not go so well. This is the cap lock button on that hand, or shift button on that hand. So it's also my ASDF fingers. My AS fingers are not working right. Does anyone talk like that? Probably not. I think that if I hadn't a crash, I would have done well. I think I would have, maybe not won it, but I would have done well, and I would have gotten points for nationals. But at this point, nationals, I don't know if it's going to be happening this year, which means I don't know when it'll happen again because I'm not traveling far. I don't know how much of a season I'm going to have left, honestly. Yeah, but it's been since, let's see here, 2021, since I last had a situation like this where I've had to drop out of a race because of an injury. But anyways, that's where I am. I'm trying to stay positive. Okay, take 2. I am going to do a little post-race breakdown here. It is Thursday after the crash, and I just wanted to note a couple things, a couple little updates, and I also wanted to actually do a commentary on the race, which I've never done before. So we'll see how this goes. The first thing is the irony in my Lionheart post-race interview thing. I said in there, oh, I feel like my technical skills are pretty good. And then this race, Carter Park, I obviously went down. That being said, I definitely, something went wrong, but I don't think it really, I felt okay actually on Sunday. I felt like the handling was there. Maybe I had a little too much confidence in the handling was one of the issues. But I'm still not exactly sure what happened in the crash and how that happened. I can say this about the crash, and I'll show this in the video in just a minute. This was a classic example of me making a mistake that I know way better than to make. And if you watch the first part of this race, I adhere to, standard advice I give myself. And when I crash, I abandon some basic philosophy. And it's that basic idea that a lot of people know, which is you cannot win a race in the first lap, but you definitely can lose it. And I even extend that a little bit further normally in races to you really have to have some patience and wisdom to know when to push and when not to push. I didn't feel like in the moment of that race, I was taking a lot of risk. In fact, I was feeling like I was pretty conservative. And again, we'll watch the video in just a minute. But when we're in the woods, you can even see I'm like laying off the wheel a little bit, to give some space because I knew we were single file. It just didn't matter. I could relax a little bit. But when I was pre-riding the course, and I know this from previous years of racing this race, if I had made it through that corner, we would have opened up after a slight chicane onto a relatively long gravel road that's a false flat. And for me, in years past, this sort of hill, the false flats, longer false flats, are where I feel like I do well in those situations. So when I was pre-riding, I thought, okay, you need to just survive up until that hill. And then first lap, you really need to push it and make up as many spots as you can on that hill. But I also knew from racing this course before and doing a lot of pre-riding before the race that up the hill in the upper section is where all the time could be made as far as putting down power. And then in the woods, and I think everyone knows this, the woods is a matter of maximizing the speed you can get there through there, but it's more about observing the speed limit. And so when I was pre-riding, when I was driving over, having looked at the start list, I had it in my mind that the best possible scenario would be on the first lap going into that hill, I would be third wheel. And in my mind, I even thought if I was on Eric Anderson and Michael McShane's wheel, and I was third wheel, that would be the best possible scenario. That would be the best case situation. And if that was the case, I was going to go all in. I mean, like really, really all in the first time up that hill. And my thought was, if those two guys went with me, or a couple people went with me, I was still going to push as hard as I can for as long as I could, in the idea that if I blew up, I would have created enough of a gap to hopefully still get top 3 and win the 40 plus. But regardless, end up probably in the top 5 was what I was thinking if I was pushed it from top 3 on that first hill. But anyways, that was kind of my best case scenario going into the race. And as you saw, I was in that position going into the woods. I was third wheel. I was super excited in that I was thinking this is all awesome. I'm going to attack on this hill and we'll just see what happens. You know, I think that these guys will go with me. I think they'll stay with me, but I'll create the gap. When I overtook Michael, and that corner in particular was interesting, but that was not an intended pass. It just is that I took that corner a lot faster than I got through the corner a lot faster than they did, because the line I took, I think, and that space just opened up. So I think once that happened, though, I got a little overexcited and it was just like, man, I'm on a killer day. And when I tried to overtake Eric, the way I thought about it is, I laid off the wheel going into that at the bottom of the hill, and I was trying to carry more speed than he was coming out of that kind of S turn before the turn where I crashed. Honestly, I wonder if I thought there was a little bit more distance between the two corners, but I was just thinking, like, you got to get through this corner, and then you're actually going to lay it on hard. And then it just all went wrong in that corner. And like I said, I'm still not exactly sure how all that happened. There's even more bizarre things, like all my injuries are on my left side, yet the only damage I see on my bike is on the right side. So without further ado, let me hit play here on the video and we'll kind of break this down. I think I was 5th in the call-up, maybe 6th, I can't remember, but front row call-up. It was a relatively low number of racers, like 14 started. But this race, if I would have been top 3, I would have been gold. For me personally, I would have been really good for points for national. It would have been a good race for points for nationals. There was, I think, 2, if not 3, racers that were top 10 in their age category at nationals last year. So there's a lot of points in this race if you got in the top 5. Actually, if you got in the top 4. So anyways, the leech just went off. I missed a pedal at the start, and this dude right here, when I missed my pedal, I got into him a little bit. So that's why I kind of went back pretty quick. So right here, not him, but I get into this guy right here. I mean, this is just a start, right? There's nothing that's going on except that because I didn't get initially clipped in, I just was not all that stable. So these first couple, my starts aren't great, but this first couple, I lose a lot of spots. This is Bo, and he's taking this bottom line, which again, I knew the chances at this point in the race that the inside line was going to get clogged up.
And you can see here, we're going, this is the 180. Eric rides it, and then second wheel, I think, is Michael, and that's where the running starts. So I could see by here that guys were getting off on that inside lane. So Bo cuts it out a little bit, I cut it out a little bit further, but this is exactly what I told Marco I was going to do, and hopefully it was going to work out, and in this case it did work out.
Let's go! That's it, Bo. Push it, push it.
Got lucky there because that guy had some sort of mistake. So at this point, Eric, Michael is in third, and then there's a guy named Brad out of Michigan who we race with occasionally. He's in third here. Bo's in fourth. I feel like at this point, like Eric and Michael are just going to pull away. Like each one of these turns, I feel like they're pulling away just a little bit. That may have all been in my mind. But there's a lot of corners through here, a lot of turns. This is the death spiral. The death spiral is a lot of fun. A lot of people hate it, but I just think it's a lot of fun. And so again, you can see here, I'm going back and forth, and it's because I know that you don't have to ride this race line in this death spiral. If you get off the race line, you just have to make adjustments on the next couple of corners. So all these I'm trying to get by. That is one of the moves where, I mean, Bo probably would have closed that up himself, and I didn't need to do that. But it just opened up and I was carrying speed. This one I definitely took because I don't race with Brad that much, and I just didn't know if he'd be able to close that or not. I probably, again, should have been a little bit more patient, but maybe not. I think that was fine. I think both those passes were fine. I don't think they were dangerous or put me or anyone else at risk, I guess, at that point. So, at this point, I'm trying everything I can to get up to McShane. I slip right there just like he did. This next two corners are sketchy, really sketchy. This one is really sketchy. There's a gravel and you're not used to it because you came off the grass. This next corner that Anderson's about to turn right there, this is sketchy because where Michael is, there's a culvert and all of this is loose gravel. The first year I raced Carter Park, I ate it hard on the first lap in this corner. So I knew that I had to go slow through that because that's what experience had told me. But once you get on here, the right and the left are solid lanes. The inside lane is totally, it's thicker gravel, so it's hard to get through, but these are hard packed. And at this point, I'm pretty confident I'm going to get back on them. Here's an example, though, of where I think my pre-riding, like I was a little torn here because, I mean, this is Eric Anderson and Michael McShane. These guys are top 10 national riders every single year. They are way better than me. And so when I was here, I was really thinking I need to follow their lines because they're probably going to be faster. And it was kind of this mix of this corner where I kind of followed their line, I kind of followed the line that I wanted to take. There's a bunch of roots right here in this. And so what I was finding is, again, I was going out more and then cutting back. I don't know if it was faster or not, but I thought the exit was faster. So I kind of followed their line, see what it's like. And it was fine. Now, at this point, I know Eric's just putting it on. You can see he's standing there. So I knew I just had to hold my position. And again, I'm thinking at this point, I'm third going into this woods. This is the best case scenario. This is what my dream was going into this race. All I had to do was make it through these woods on these two guys' wheels. And then once I get on that hill, attack with everything I can. And again, my attack wasn't going to be, I think I'm going to drop these guys. It was, I think I'll pull them away. Eventually they'll leave me, but that would leave me in third. That's another bad corner. And so you'll see here, I lay off the wheel just a little bit, and then I get right back on it because I knew this section was open. I had thought about trying to pass there, but there just wasn't enough time. That's where I did show a lot of patience and not try to push that. Especially because that corner is bad too, not that transition. You'll see here again, I'm backing off because I think some of these corners, they're a little tighter than I want to go at this speed through, and there's no reason to kind of... There's other corners I think whatever. This is an example of, I think I took that corner much faster. Okay, this is one of the areas where I'm really proud of how I figured this out. This corner we're about to do, the race line that you wanted to take is the line that Eric and Michael take. Before the race, another one of our competitors even mentioned this turn to me and said, yeah, if you take it too fast, you end up on the tape on the other side. And I kind of said, yeah, I know. But the other thing I knew is right before that turn, there was a route on the far side. And if you could go on the right of that route and get past the route, you could actually set up the next corner where you totally would avoid the tape and it would swing you into the next corner. And so in just a minute here, this is where I passed McShane. I wasn't intending to pass. It's just I took the line I wanted and I ended up going through there faster than they did. And again, it wasn't that I was attacking, it's just I had more speed and I think I was in a lower gear coming out. But that was a problem because I think that once I did that, I got a little too excited. I got a little too greedy. All this down section, I knew at this point that a lot of this was, you could take it faster than you could the earlier parts. And I think that's what was going on here, is I was just getting antsy. You can see I'm riding up on him a little bit, thinking about it, like thinking, where am I going to make this move? And this is where I went wrong. There's no reason to be thinking this. I should have just relaxed until that hill where I planned to attack. But at this point, I'd already made the decision I'm going to try to push it after this next corner. I carry way more speed, push it, and I ran out of room. Yeah, I've played this over and over, and I can't tell exactly what happened. I can tell you that if I did not try to make that pass and just stayed here, if I had not tried to do this and make this next pass, right here, if I had sat right here on his wheel, I think I would have made that turn. Going in that turn, I didn't think I wasn't going to make it, though. Oh man. So, anyways, I don't know if that is insightful or not. I think that the main reason I wanted to do this and do sort of a recap of this is, like I said, if you saw the way I raced that first half, I think a lot of that is having legs. I mean, I definitely had the legs that day, but also just a lot of pre-riding. A lot of pre-riding thinking outside the box, like not just looking at the worn-in line and the natural line, thinking about where could I pass if the preferred line was blocked. I also hope everyone that watches this understands I don't think I'm some wonderfully terrific cross racer. I love to race cross. I really enjoy it. I'm disappointed I'm not going to be able to race more this year. I dedicate a lot of time to it to try to maximize the limited potential that I have. But I also realize that, you know, this is ongoing learning for me, and there's a lot to be learned. And most of these guys I was up against this day are better than me. But you got to believe some days, you know, you got to believe. And so, yeah, whatever. We'll see how this works for editing.